And I'm doing the trade-off at the moment. I don't know if any of you have done this. And you think, pretty nice boobies.
Dating at 47 and being right-wing, forget it. Now this should be pretty interesting. I think this guy has like 60,000 subscribers or something, and I've already mocked people, conservatives, for saying that people won't date them because, you know, yeah, good. I'm glad people aren't dating you. Like, that's an excellent reason not to date somebody. So I've never heard of this man before. If he's bad, then he's very bad. But we shall see, and we're going to laugh at him, the fact that no one wants to date him. Natural selection in progress. Let's go.
Sorry about the noise. I'm parked under the Avonmouth Bridge, and there's an expansion gap right above me. I feel sorry for the houses. It's very loud. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about is being single and having our views. That is, it depends on what part of the political spectrum you are as to what you would label us as. If you're to the left, you call us far right. If you're to...
Well, depends what your views are. If your views are, we need to marketize more of the economy and dilute the capacity of the public sector, I would call you a neoliberal, right? A right-wing neoliberal. If your policies are deport people who are the wrong skin color and send them to fucking Rwanda, then yeah, I'll call you far right. It's simple.
If you're far right, you would call us a centrist. You get the meaning. But anyway, in today's society, having common sense views and being single makes you fairly undateable.
Again, I've talked about this on stream before, and I'm going to talk about it again. I fucking hate the term common sense, because you don't have to ever give any policy prescriptions at all about what you believe in. You can just say, I believe in common sense. I have no moral or, you know, utilitarian prescriptions as to why I believe the things that I do, but I believe them because they are good and it's self-fulfilling, right? Although for someone who calls himself a reverend, I'm not surprised that they're a fan of self-fulfilling moral policies, right? But all it is a way of trying to get other people to imprint their own values onto whatever you're saying. Because if you both agree that what you believe in is common sense, then it becomes entirely self-fulfilling, then it therefore must be correct, rather than actually, you know, properly understanding the utility of the things that you believe in. I only believe correct things. Well, this is exactly what this guy's trying to say. I believe in it because it's correct, and they can't, because all of their moral kind of prescriptions, especially if you're, you know, a fundamentally religious person, all your moral prescriptions have been passed down to you by somebody else without properly examining the outcomes of what you believe in, for example. And half the time, it just means wherever the wind blows. Exactly, 100% LRFA. So it does make, literally, it's such a nonsense phrase, and anybody who says it can instantly be discredited.
I think. Also, it takes a certain amount of effort on the person who's singles part to go out and find somebody. Fall over there a little bit. I don't know about you, but once you start to get on the train, if you like, of working out that the government isn't in our interest, the doctors aren't in our interest, that everything you see and read isn't.
The doctors aren't in our interests? What? Clearly I've not been watching enough of this guy's content to know what the fuck he's talking about. But yeah, the government aren't on your side because the government are in the interest of not governing properly because they're fucking Tories, right? Literally. I mean, is he anti-vax? He's doing anti-vaxxer shit? Which is ironic that the two people that he's calling out here, it is anti-vaxxer stuff, the two people he's calling out are the government and the doctors, neither of whom are the people who decided the prices for the pharmaceutical industry, right? That was the private corporations who controlled that stuff. It was nothing to do with the doctors who developed the vaccine, and it was nothing to do with the governments who distributed the vaccine. It was the private companies profiteering under capitalism that was the fault. Probably I mean, we'll see what he might expand on this. We shall see.
Isn't what it is, then you'll find talking to somebody who's still completely within that package tiresome, annoying, irritating, and there would be conflict. And you realize that there are so many of them out there, and you actually think there's more of them than there are, because Many who have our views won't speak their views for fear of what?
So why is his camera orientated so there's just like all of this space here? Like he's not in the middle, and there's like this gap, there's this like, gaping chasm at the top of where his camera is. This is a really odd angle to be filming from.
Might happen. I get that, sort of. Although it's not really ever affected me because I don't.
But it's also, I mean, at least he's acknowledging, right, that the reason why he can't get a date is because people do genuinely want to date people who have similar political opinions to them, and he is an outlier in the weird crankery that he believes in. He literally said he can't be bothered making an effort to meet anyone. Is he expecting to be attracting hoes like flies on a turd? Well, you know, look at him. He's clearly an Adonis-like paragon of perfect masculinity. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe he blames doctors for the crumbling NHS. I don't know. It's probably more likely anti-vax shit. I think a lot of older blokes are the worst incels. 100%. Yeah, very, very true. I mean, I've talked a lot about how a lot of the ideological divides in this country are divided by age. And a lot of the older blokes, yeah, will absolutely have an incredibly divergent political ideology to people younger than them, with the only people that they feel like they want to date too. A lot of these older blokes feel like they should be entitled to date a woman in their 30s. Which, you know, why the fuck would they date you? Like, what are you bringing to the table?
I don't give two fucks. But I go onto the dating sites, and anybody who's pulling the pout, gone. Anybody who's got, I've had
literally, it's just like an entire section of the population. I can't date these people because they are making the wrong expression in their dating profile picture. Okay, brilliant, mate. Well, I'm glad that you've decided to whittle down your potential suitors on the dating apps that you're frantically swiping right on. I worked with a younger lad at work who actually went down the incel pipeline for a bit and got him off it pretty quick, and he now loathes it. Good work, Dating Quarter. We stan.
My vax, gone. Anybody who's got Ukraine colours, gone.
What was the thing you just said there before?
Anybody who's got, I've had my vax, gone.
Yeah, it was fucking anti-vax. We fucking knew it. Love it.
Who's got Ukraine colours, gone. Anybody who's got filters, gone. Because anybody who has filters is a fucking liar. Simple as that. And there's so many other things. And then anybody.
It's so pathetic. Oh my god, why am I not engaging with manosphere content more often? It's too funny, right? It's too funny to not react to. A lot of older guys who are really bitter at life see it as a little rash.
Because I'm literally a communist.
Matthew with the subscription. Welcome to the Justice stream. Hope you're doing well. But he's literally who is he even swiping right on? Maybe he's literally swiping left on everybody. Oh, I can't believe I swiped left on literally every single girl on Tinder, and now no one will match with me. Oh no, you missed out. Like, obviously the Ukraine flag stuff is cringe, but is it so cringe that I would refuse to date someone because of it? What? No, of course not. Well, then he probably thinks that we should be just letting Russia invade the Donbass. Like, I don't know.
Somebody who has, like, a picture of their kids in the dating app, gone. Why would you do that, you know?
Because they have... It might be a nice photo and they have kids? What? Okay, brilliant. So dating a 47 and being incredibly picky, well above my pay grade. Forget it. That's what this video should really be called. Dating at 47 and having incredibly stringent standards for who I will and won't date. Forget it. That's what this video should really be called. Turns out people aren't attracted to gobby morons. Who knew? It's absolute mystery. Bill Hog Diamond Dog, an absolute mystery. And I said, like, I'm not gonna rag on anyone for having a Ukraine flag in their bio. Like, I don't like, of all the things that I am concerned with, showing support for people of Ukraine by adding a flag to your bio is not something that I'm concerned with, positively or negatively. Always makes me laugh when I see no Tories on dating profiles, because at the very moment some Tory bloke is moulding. Oh, 100%, right? I mean, the right wingers who are absolutely, like, they are completely incensed by the idea that, you know, people who have different material and social interests to them might have a different political prescriptions than they do, they genuinely feel like it's cancel culture. Like, are you this guy's literally cancelling face filters. But filters are being cancelled. Ukraine flags have been cancelled. Duck faces have been cancelled. Right? This is the cancel culture express, and it's pulled into the station at 1,000 miles an hour. And they are not rejecting him. He appears to be rejecting most of them. No. I think you'll find, right? I think you'll find he's by him not having every single, fertile, attractive, and eligible bachelorette throwing themselves at his probably pretty manky feet. He thinks that is akin to having a failure in the dating world. Anyone with an elephant pick in Thailand doesn't know from me. Understandable, Scouse Raw. Understandable.
And there's a whole line of things. And after that, you then get to the mad people. Or if you've been single as long as I have, which was 2016.
I mean, maybe, mate, if you've been single for 7 fucking years, right? Maybe it's not that everybody else is the problem here. Maybe you're the problem. Don't read the comments to that video. It's a bomb site. I won't do. Don't. You can be rest assured I will not be reading the comments on this video. He basically only wants to date idiots that can't think for themselves and will accept whatever he wants to try and improve upon them. 100%, yeah. Like, he wants an attractive, smiling mannequin who doesn't say no to him. This is always the thing with incels. No one within my ridiculously narrow definition of beauty and attractability finds me attractive. Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Then you've been on and off dating sites, losing the will to live, as many of you probably have as well. And, you've been here forever, or you keep coming back, or you've got mad eyes. Some of the lads will understand what I mean, and some of the women might get it. But if you don't, have a look for the ones like this. Generally speaking, not wired up right. Or happy. Fucking nutters. Leave them alone. Stay well away. And women, if you see a bloke looking extra shiny, right? Okay, top off, very slick back, like fashy hair, the latest haircuts. If he is the latest whatever.
Fashy is not short for fashionable. It means quite a different thing, mate. Unless you think that there's a specific kind of fascist haircut these people might have. But what he's basically saying here is, don't date people who are conventionally attractive. Date me. I'm much more of a catch than these conventionally attractive people.
Walk away. He's not he can't make his own or go his own way. He has to follow the pack. Not good. So, that aside.
Yeah, following up. Clearly, the real issue with these people is they're conforming to what the World Economic Forum are trying to force down people's throats. That being attractive, well, in good physical health, and also clean and well presentable is what they want. That's what the World Economic Forum they want you to do, right? Like, that's what Klaus Schwab is trying to. She's trying to indoctrinate people into cleanliness and being presentable. Real men know that we don't do any of that shit. I mean, this really is more MGTOW than incel, really, isn't it?
You think to yourself, predominantly speaking, a lot of women lean to the left. This is what statistics show. So that makes life slightly difficult. But I said to my mate, I think that's it. Now, permanently, I think I'm going to be single for the rest of my days, because I can't imagine finding anybody that won't say, do you want to watch EastEnders, or do you want to watch Coronation Street, or do you
This is a weird turn. Yeah, all of the women in the population are far too left-wing and woke. And I will never be able to find love because they all will want to watch EastEnders. What a non sequitur! What the fuck are we watching? I'm so glad I chose to watch this. This is hilarious. Woke EastEnders clearly is the issue. I mean, you're probably going to be single for the rest of your life because you literally swipe left on every single woman you can come across on Tinder. literally the opposite of every other man on Tinder who only ever swipes right on everybody.
Want to go to a car boot sale this weekend, or we've got to go over and see my mum and listen to
Who goes to car boot sales? What is this, fucking 1993?
The fact that she's had her 17th fucking jab and that she's flying the Ukraine. You see where I'm coming from?
Well, that's weird that he's brought up the Ukraine flag and vaccinations again for some reason. Woke enders.
The more you find out, the more you learn, the less patience you have. The longer you spend on your own, with your house being tidy, you know where everything is, right? And you can put your hand to anything and there's peace and quiet and you can have downtime. And obviously we've got the lose it or use it thing. That's the use it or lose it. Now, I was led to believe that if you didn't use it, it'd stop working, right? That's not the case. However, I think I've reversed.
Yeah, this man is like the poster child, right, for mail order brides. 100%, 1000%. Right, you just know he's gonna get to fucking 55, and he's gonna be scouting for desperate women in the Philippines.
Back to the same mentality as when I was a kid, right? Bear with and I'll explain because it's not fucked up. When I was, I don't know, 14, 15, 16, I was more preoccupied, in my case, of going out on my bike, seeing my mates, building a den, or doing stuff like that. The girls' part was like, yeah, they look nice, but whatever. They've probably got girl fleas or whatever. Leave them alone. That's kidding, by the way. And then obviously you get to the stage where the hormones take over, and then everything's possible, right? And you know, you just literally you're just mad for it, right? But it gets to a stage where you get a bit older, and I think that basically speaking, that
I love how a minute, this guy's 47 and he's talking about the difference between how he views women at his age of 47 and the way he viewed women when he was like 13. I don't get the through line. What's going on?
You've gone without it long enough that you haven't died, because that's obviously the immediate thought, that when you're in your 30s and you're getting it all the time, the very thought of you not being able to get it is, well, I might as well kill myself. And that's a joke, by the way, as well. But when you've been without it long enough and you realise you didn't die, you have to work about the offset of, that's nice, I like that stuff, but what about all the aggravation that goes with it? What about all the time?
I'm getting real big MGTOW vibes from this. His beard is trimmed way too close to his jawline. That's definitely true. Like it's gone. It's literally like a centimeter too far in the trim. Like this is going right, and then it kind of veers off too close to the jawline from here. It should be back here, shouldn't it? He's so immature, it's sad. I'm a lonely old bloke, but I like to think I've come to have some understanding of other people as I've gone through my life. It's crazy to me, right? I'm so glad to have you in chat, MCH, because you really do give me hope for people from your generation. But it's absolutely crazy to me in that I have a lot of reverence for a lot of people from the older generations, people older than me, with a lot more life experience than I do, and to think there are so many people from that generation who didn't become wise, right? Trying to explain to people who have like the decades more life experience than I do how to do basic things like a computer, for example, I find infuriating. And I shouldn't do, because, you know, they're not grown up with that stuff. But when you think about, you know, the way in which these people view politics, I find it exasperating. Am I going to turn into a fucking miserable old bellend when I grow up? Is this what I'm going to happen? Like, but, you know, if people, you know, if there's the fact that my YouTube analytics tell me that I've got a bunch of 50+ people who watch my channel, enjoy my content, agree with what I say, and or even if they don't agree with what I say, they at least have the time to want to consider the arguments of people they disagree with. That makes me gives me some comfort that not everybody is like this guy or fucking Anne Widdecombe. Being without it long enough without and not dying. Is he talking about sex or membership of the Labour Party?
Time I lose doing the things that I like. What about all the peaceful time that I actually now enjoy would be ruined for this pretty thing that gives me nice stuff. And I'm doing the trade-off at the moment. I don't know if any of you have done this. And you think, pretty nice boobies.
I don't know why that was that funny. Why was that so... He just says... He sounded like a fucking 12-year-old when he said it. Oh my god, why was that so funny? I wonder why he's single. We may never know. We may never know why he's single. It's a mystery that we'll never solve. Oh dear. But that graph about millennials not becoming more conservative as they age gives me hope when they're the elderly people we look up to. I mean, considering that millennials are getting more left wing as they age, which is good. I mean, hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll happen. People are always a product of the economic circumstances of the time, right? We stand the pretty nice boobies. Oh dear. Has tits, swipe right. Wait until he shows you the cool trick with a calculator. Oh, he's going to start drawing the S, whatever it was. The one that looks like the S from the Suzuki logo. I don't think I've said boobies since I was a kid giggling about saying a naughty word. I mean, that's probably why I laughed so much. Sorry, we have to have a repeat now, don't we?
Boobies. We're just talking about the physical here, not the mental, okay? Personal space, peace and quiet, know where everything is, don't get told to change my flat to suit. So far, boobies have lost this one. Because it's not as if you're living in it the entire time, is it? It's the boobies are nice.
What's he saying? What the fuck is he going on about? Oh. he says it's his only term for them. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh. Oh, calm. Video. I've got a video to react to. Oh dear.
For a little while, right? And the other fun is nice for a while, but then you got the rest of the day. Now, here's the kicker.
It's taking a very long time to explain to us that you need more in your life than just sex. Okay, reasonable. Like, but you know, this seems like a really long-winded way of saying that sex isn't everything, which is correct, broadly correct. There was a very weird way of saying it. No, all the MRA for it's all filming videos in your car is like a hallmark of quality right-wing content. He's just missing the wraparound shades because he's in the UK, so it's obviously miserable.
If you found somebody on your wavelength that's good fun with boobies, then peace and quiet is not winning the battle here. But you have to find something at my age, right? You could find the prettiest and the most shapely woman absolutely gorgeous to look at. But if she said Ukraine,
But with no filters or Ukraine flags or vaccinations.
all of a sudden she's an ugly bastard, in my mind. I have just seen that the head on it.
Yeah, literally opposing imperialist invasions of sovereign territory. That is enough to turn you off any good woman, right? Doesn't matter how nice the boobies are. Being anti-Russian imperialism, that's a line I will not cross.
Is so utterly devoid of any critical thinking that she's the dumb fuck. And women who are like that are not appealing. But I know there's women out there that aren't like that. But I'm imagining that most of them are taken because they're like gold dust.
Well, yeah, because if they were going to choose any potential dating partner, they can find literally anyone who isn't you.
They're like rocking horse shit. Hen's teeth. You get the meaning, right? So here is
that's the thing, Sundry Clown Car. He's not examined any of the utility of the positions that he is disagreeing with here. It is literally just, I am anti the current thing. And that is his NPC position that he holds. I am anti the current thing because it's the current thing. Therefore, I must be virtuous because I oppose the current thing. It's like hipster discourse. It really is. He won't tap the ass if you support the Donbass. True. I mean, clearly I need to examine more of this guy's content, because if he's got more stuff that I can actually pick apart the positions that he holds, right? Because I don't know why he opposes the Ukraine stuff. Is it because he thinks that we shouldn't be spending money on it? Is he pro-Russia? Is he... I don't know. What position is he even taking here? Because he's clearly not taking like the weird kind of campist, multipolarity, Duganist style leftist position, obviously, because he doesn't like leftists. I don't know what I thought most people on the right were supposed to support Ukraine. I'm not. What the fuck is going on?
Dilemma. And I believe it's the same for you women. Do you?
Oh, no, he doesn't like the boobs, Cathwa. He likes the boobies. That's an incredibly important distinction. That's what I mean. By that I mean the very nice boobies. There we go. That's what he's all about.
You want to be with some narcissistic bastard that spends more time in the mirror than you do, that actually has more product on him than you do, that believes in the vax, the Ukraine lockdown, and all of the other things, watches the BBC, and God, whatever.
Oh, I see. This is someone who had their mind and brain broken by the pandemic. Right, I see what's happened here. Seems to be a grab bag of conspiracy garbage. Our extreme right all supports Russia. I mean, that is true. He's calling others narcissistic. Yeah, well, yeah, it's a bit of a self-report, really, isn't it? But no, like, what's the problem with having men who look after their appearance? I mean, you know, it says something about you, doesn't it, Mr. Simon Sideways? It amuses me how many right-wingers love Russia now that there's a right-wing oligarchy with Putin explicitly decrying homosexual and trans people. That might be the case, actually. But a lot of people are pro-Russia because they do the whole kind of Christian nationalism thing that's big over in the right wing, especially in America. Now, I don't know, you see the China virus was made in the Ukro-Nazi biolab, so Klaus Schwab could jab us all with gay 5G autism and make us eat bugs in our 15-minute cities. Well, that is true.
Whatever else, and is a complete follower. We're still slightly effeminate and not very much.
That's where he kind of exposes his ideology here, where he says, oh, this person's a follower. But he takes pride in his opinions, not because of the opinions, of whether the opinions are good or bad, but because of how he breaks from the mainstream, right? How many people that he disagrees with, right? I am the true enlightened one because I disagree with everybody else. Like, I'm sorry, but To Pimp a Butterfly is the best hip-hop album of all time, and if you disagree, you're wrong. Like, just because you disagree with objective facts doesn't make you enlightened.
Masculine at all. So literally, if you get a punch of women, you're changing the wheel, not him. I should imagine that's not very appealing, I have to say.
I don't know, right? There was a time before I transitioned, and I tell you, they fucking love that shit. You'd be surprised at just how many cisgender women really do like femininity on men. Obviously, it's people's patterns of attraction are a whole rich tapestry of different kinds, right? People have loads of different preferences, what they do or don't want, for example. But again, this there's this kind of conservative desire to fit everything into neat little boxes where everything must have no nuance involved with it at all. And there's like, women must want masculine men, masculine men want feminine women, etc. Rather than it being, loads of grey areas all in between that, for example. And saying, oh, this person's a feminist. Why would that be appealing to you? I don't know, because they might like femininity. I said to Pimp a Butterfly, Cathay Wa. It's the third Kendrick Lamar album.
So, I mean, what this should be is a right-wing dating club. Now, there isn't one, obviously, because it would be brilliant.
Well, the thing is, they tried to do right-wing dating apps. But they couldn't get any women on. I wonder why. I wonder why they can get any women on these apps. And they all fail because the right-wingers, there are very few right-wingers left amongst, especially the young female population. But amongst the dating population in this country, there's very few right-wingers left. This guy is what we call a cooker because their brains were cooked by anti-vax stuff and everything else that followed. But he's been without a date since 2016. He might have been incel-pilled before the pandemic. Well, that's possibly true. Maybe he's a gamer-gator. Like an old-school, middle-aged gamer-gator. Also, I love the term cooker. I will always be happy to Tom Tanuki for popularising it.
It will be inundated with lefties trying to cause division and hatred. And not just that, the system...
No, it wouldn't. No, that... All of the right-wing dating apps have just tried and failed. No one infiltrated them. They failed on their own because no one wanted to get involved with them, right? In the same way that, I'm not going to go on to Muslim dating because I have no reason with which to do so. In the same way that the vast majority of young women would not want to go on dating apps, which are just right-wingers, because they're not right-wing. What?
Itself wouldn't want, God forbid, right-wing people finding love, being happy and networking. God fuck no. So here's where we are.
I genuinely believe that he's going to get that somehow if there was a right-wing dating scene, for example, specific to them, they will just get cancelled for both existing whilst being right-wing. I think that's what he genuinely thinks is happening to every right-winger nowadays, probably. This guy has ethics in gaming journalism as an interest on his twin tint of a show. 100% Scouse Raw.
Out here because I'm guessing there's a few of you out there that may actually struggle with the same thoughts that I do about this. Yeah, I would love to meet somebody that's fun, that likes their own time, self-sufficient, doesn't need me around all the time, right? Can do most of the things for herself, although, some help would be appreciated at times. In the same way that I can do pretty much 99.9% of things for myself. I can even go and fuck myself. I've done this many a times when requested. But it would be nice to have somebody there who's on your wavelength. Somebody who's got your back and you have theirs. Somebody who's loyal and you're loyal. Somebody who likes their country. Somebody who respects traditional values. Somebody who knows what a woman is. And for the women, somebody who knows what a man's place is. All of these things.
See, there you go. Fucking, he let it slip, right? Like, all of the what is a woman, what is a man stuff that people do to try and attack trans people, it was always a proxy for trying to try and force hegemonic femininity and masculinity onto the different sexes. There you go. It was always a Trojan horse ever from the start, right? And again, if you want somebody who has traditional values, then fine, go ahead, find one. I'm sure there's somebody out there, right? But complaining that everybody doesn't hold the same values as you do, it's nonsensical, right? I'm not complaining that everyone in the country is not communist, because I know that that's going to be a fringe opinion. Whatever, I will make do and make compromises with the people that I will date, as long as they are at least marginally ideologically compatible. And I also don't swipe left on anybody who has a filter or a picture of a child, or has a duck face. Like, come on.
And in a crazy world like today where men are women and women are men, though they're not, although they're meant to be, all right, we are literally on our own. And it's like...
Most people don't care. It's weird to care about this stuff, Simon. Like, it's really weird to be continually fixated on what other people are doing with their lives when you could just, not bother caring about that kind of stuff. Well, I'm pretty sure most people don't care. Most people are just normal cisgender men and women getting on with their lives and wanting to find partners who agree with them on most topics. You are in the majority of these people. It's just unfortunately people disagree with you on a whole host of socio-political issues because you're living in fucking 1980 fucking 4. He should join his local Conservative party. He'd probably find that the average Conservative that gets involved in local politics is still too woke, though, not believing that they are out. So, I mean, that's the thing. Most Conservative, like councils and stuff, are probably all still like pro-vax and pro-Ukraine, which this guy would get massively triggered by, even if they are transphobic, right? What's that Conservative councillor who thought that Sophie from Mars said that she wiped her hands on her penis? Like, clearly, him and her are going to get on most things, and then the vaccination's going to come up, and he's going to be like, "Oh no, I can't date somebody who's had the vaccination. You had your 5G implanted with you by Bill Gates or whatever some shit is going on about."
It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, I think, for many people. So let me know what you think in the comments. As I say, I've pretty much given up because literally, I mean, I live close to Bristol. Bristol's like my most left-wing place there is. Honestly, it's fucking awful. And you can...
Ironically, I fucking love Bristol. I think Bristol's great. My grandparents are from Bristol. It's a lovely area. Actually, a nice area in general, not just to live outside of ideologies, but it's also very lefty as well. I find it so wild that reactionaries fearmonger about us trans people randomly saying sexually explicit things when people like this exist, but then I remember that, oh yeah, the reactionaries are people like this are one and the same. Who to thank it? Well, yeah, exactly, Alara, you're absolutely right.
See it, you drive through, you can just feel the hatred. It's fucking great. But also the dating sites are either full of women who are still part of the system, and there are some damaged people. There's damaged men and women on there. And also for you women, there's some blokes out there that are just literally still married, trying to get the ride and lying. And lads, if you're doing that, don't do that.
This guy needs to date an 80-year-old Australian widow. That's basically our whole extreme right. I'm sure Pauline Hanson would love him.
Be faithful to her. I never used to be when I was young, so I fucked up my first relationship when I shouldn't have done, although I did.
There you go. It all explains it. It explains that, oh, we now know what happened. We know what happened. We know why he is where he is. He's bitter about the fact that he was an idiot when he was younger, and instead of trying to fix himself, he's trying to claim that the problem was everybody else. It all makes sense. It all makes sense now. That's why he's like this. When Sargon was being milkshaked, this guy was his bodyguard. What? Is that this guy? Is it this guy? Right here? It fucking is! Fucking hell, it literally is the same guy. What an absolute find. Oh, I'm so glad I watched this now. This has been an absolute riot. I'm definitely uploading this as a segment, 100%.
Leave her, right? But she's a lovely woman. We're best friends now, and I've got to say, if I went back with my head now, no, I wouldn't have done what I did. But it's all part of growing up, I guess. But you get that back in karma, by the way. You know, I've paid the price for that over the years. I think I definitely have. But there you go. But yeah, so if you are men out there, if you are single, just be straight. And women, just be straight. And you might not get so much interest.
No, I will not. I will not be straight. I am going to be extremely gay. That's what I'm going to be doing, because I have seen men, and I'm just not attracted to them. There are plenty of nice men out there. It's just, unfortunately, none of them I find sexually attractive.
But I think the ones you will get, you better quality. But yeah, as I say, I'd give up. Not just that, the other problem is doing what I do. If you met somebody who wasn't politically minded, they'll say that you're going to bring trouble to the door. We don't need this.
I actually think that's usually not the case. Usually if you date someone who's not politically minded, they just ignore the things you say about politics half the time. Is that everyone else's experience? That's definitely my experience, because obviously I'm very politically minded. But it's been a while since I've dated somebody who wasn't particularly politically minded. But when I have done, they usually just kind of ignore when I talk about politics. Really, that seems to be the case for myself.
This, you need to stop. And my answer to that would be, there's the door, fuck off. That's kind of another problem, you see. But I just thought I'd put that out there as a bit of a thought, bit of a question. You know, it hasn't always got to be totally political, although I suppose some of that was. And let me know what you think in the comments. I do like to listen to you, or listen. I do like to read your comments, even from a dyslexic's point of view, because I have to read them twice, 3 times. So I was like, did they really say that? No, they didn't say that at all. Oh, that's what they meant. Yeah, it is fun.
Well, that's the end of that. I'm not going to let him shell any further. Well, my God, that was an absolute riot. Definitely becoming a segment. Look forward to that on YouTube. Oh my God. I'm not political equals I'm right wing and don't want to admit it. Well, half the time, not political, what they mean is I follow this. They don't actually have an opinion a lot of the time. Which in a world in which the Overton window is neoliberalism left or neoliberalism right, like of course they actually mean a fucking neoliberal half the time, aren't they? Because people get indoctrinated by economic systems, and you know, amusingly both Marxist and Thatcherite analysis, in that both Marx and Thatcher believed that you could use economics to change people's minds and people's behaviours and people's ideologies, and that's definitely been borne out to be true over the past, 50 years of capitalism and neoliberalism. I don't think anyone you're close to isn't in some way politically minded, because being part of multiple minorities kind of necessitates political awareness at the least, but there are some that don't really want to talk politically minded, don't want to talk about politics because it's depressing as fuck, and I don't blame them. Well, yeah, true.